Hey sports fan, this is Stephen Hill for JustMyPicks.com, and I'm bringing you a very special breakdown of the Eastern Conference Finals between the Atlanta Hawks taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Before I get right into that, we're going to go ahead and make sure you're subscribed to my YouTube channel. Make sure you check us out on Facebook /JustMyPicks for all the updates in sports and all the good news stories. Now, to hop right into it, we're going to be talking about one of the most intriguing Eastern Conference Finals in the last couple of years that I can even remember. You have a team like the Cleveland Cavaliers with a couple of stars on there. You know, Kyrie Irving, he's banged up. You also have LeBron James, who is the best player in the NBA. And you have a supporting cast of guys like Iman Shumpert, J.R. Smith, Tristan Thompson, excuse me. You have a couple of guys on the Cavs who can make some noise without help, as far as like shooting the three like J.R. Smith and stuff like that. So now when you get down to it, the Atlanta Hawks, they're an interesting bunch. Led the East in basically a lot of good stats. They were the #1 team in the Eastern Conference. You look at them having Jeff Teague, a solid point guard, them having Kyle Korver, who can knock down the three, Al Horford at the 4 or 5 position, who is an undersized small forward but plays the power forward and the center position pretty well. You also have to look at Carroll, who does his thing as a wing defender and who also, we've seen late in the playoffs, can also score. Coming into this basketball game, Paul Millsap is going to have to be huge. They're going to have to use their slight edge as far as their ability early and often. You know, if they can get Timothy Mozgov into trouble, you know that's for the most part their biggest big that they have for the Cavaliers. Kendrick Perkins is not fast enough to stay on the floor in this series, so you're going to have to keep in mind that they can play small ball with the Cavaliers, and they play extremely well. The bench for the Hawks, when you look at some of the guys, the key guys that they have coming off of the bench, they can do damage from beyond the arc or inside. They share the ball extremely well. They make the extra pass. You got to keep in mind the coaching staff is really San Antonio's coaching staff. And if you remember last year, what San Antonio did to the Miami Heat, which is a similar team to the Cleveland Cavaliers, is they spread the floor out and they took away that ability to be fast on defense. They took away that ability to make key plays on defense because they spread the floor well. Tim Duncan did damage inside when he got the ball. Plus, they were hitting threes. You look at the number of guys that were hitting threes last year for the Spurs, and you can do a similar account for the Atlanta Hawks. For the Hawks, it's three-point by committee. Jeff Teague can get it going. Kyle Korver can get it going. We've seen Al Horford light it up. We've seen Paul Millsap light it up. You've got guys on the bench for the Hawks also. And Schroeder for the Hawks, who came in and played an outstanding game versus the Washington Wizards. They have guys who step up at any point in time. So the Cavaliers cannot just focus on one particular player because they all play so well. And it's not like somebody has to get the ball in the last 2 minutes. In the last 2 minutes of the game, you look at the Atlanta Hawks, anybody that starts or anybody that's on the bench can take the last shot for them. We've seen game winners hit by Al Horford, Jeff Teague, and Amari Carroll. You see, it's just so many different things. This is why this is an intriguing matchup. When I look at LeBron James, I expect him to take over a few games in this series, and I expect his will to win at least 1 or 2 games. You're looking at just how good he is as the best player in the NBA. He dictates a lot of action. Late in the basketball game, he's going to get the ball. I don't know how healthy Kyrie Irving will be for this series, if he does even play for this series. So you have to look at the Atlanta Hawks as being happy about their situation. They're in a home game to start the series on this Wednesday, and they're going to have a lot of fanfare behind them. So in this series, I'm looking for the Atlanta Hawks to pull off an upset and beat the Cleveland Cavaliers. I know that a lot of people talk about this team as not being as good as advertised on the regular season, but you have to realize this is the first time for a lot of these Atlanta Hawks that they're getting this far in the playoffs. Yes, you have Jeff Teague, who has a plethora of playoff experience, and Al Horford, who also has a couple of years of playoff experience, but those teams are not the same team as this Hawks team. This is an unselfish basketball team, and they're playing extremely well. You have to look at them as having the leg up as far as just having healthy bodies. LeBron James can do it all. He can't do it all by himself, but he can try to make it difficult for the Hawks. And you got to keep in mind the Hawks have plenty of defenders. They can throw out LeBron James, who can guard him almost one-on-one or limit his action because they're going to team guard LeBron James. you're going to have to beat the Atlanta Hawks with someone else besides LeBron James, because I feel like the defensive aspect can slow him down. And I think the Hawks are going to be refreshing. I think that they're going to be excited about this matchup. They're going to have an edge in several different departments because they're going to go small ball, and Timothy Mozgov may not be able to keep up. And also, if they put Kendrick Perkins in, they may not be able to keep up. You may have to put LeBron at the 5, and you may have to do the small lineup around LeBron if they want a chance to win this series, because if Kyrie Irving hurts that knee, all bets are off. I'm going with the Atlanta Hawks to win the Eastern Conference Finals and advance to the NBA playoffs. All you Hawks fans, all you Cavaliers fans, and NBA fans, tell me what you think in the comment section below. Also, check out justmypicks.com for all the breaking news, all the updates, and everything in sports. As always, thank you so very much for checking out. And also, tune in for the Western Conference Final breakdown and our prediction. Thank you so very much, and we'll see you next week.